Greetings. I am Legacy Moon, and this is True Crime and Mysteries. Welcome back to all of my current subscribers, and welcome to all of my visitors and returning guests. I want to talk briefly about a video I did on Friday, and it's entitled Nesto Williams' Case and the Infamous Prayer Warrior. Now, someone saw my video and they had a few things to say to me. And when someone decides to leave me a dissertation, I think I should spotlight it and correct them in the areas that they were wrong in their paper, right? Because, when you hand in your dissertation, that's what the professor does. That's what the professor does. So we're going to play college, and I'm going to be the professor, and you're going to be the student, because I'm going to learn you a few things. So here is what, and I also would like to say, in that same video, I posted 2 comments that I got out of the Prayer Warriors live because, I thought it was important to my commentary. However, I colored over the person's name so that you couldn't see it. I also, put emojis on it as well. So, you couldn't tell what it was because, why expose somebody? I just wanted to make a point. Well, she decides to jump in my comments and write this dissertation. So here we go. And I'm going to let you know who has all these feelings from that video and who wrote this comment. So Love and Devotion 1993 says she released 3 calls out of 1,000. Phone Calls from Prison has all the calls and has first choice on what calls she releases. I say to you, what is wrong or what is worse? The prayer warrior releasing a few of the calls she has, or that content creator wait for phone calls from prison to drop and call, and they immediately go live and take her content to their platform and gain 15,000 views, cash apps, super chats, memberships. Phone Calls from Prison was courtesy to say content creators could use her content, but when does the courtesy become abuse or just plain too much? That is where the old saying, you give a person an inch and they take a foot. The prayer warrior is releasing a couple of calls, which is really only viewed by her supporters, is in no way harming Phone Calls from Prison or taking anything from her views or pockets, like other content creators that are taking every call and video that drops and doing hours-long lives. I'm not referring to smaller content creators that may use a portion of the call or just recap. I'm referring to the others. When the story first broke, it was Grown Woman Vibes, Bougie, Sylvia, and Wisdom's Daughter that were the main ones I watched. And then backfighting started. Or was that? Yeah, it says backfighting. Backfighting started. Wisdom's Daughter went with the prayer warrior on that field trip, but everybody turned on the prayer warrior. Then Wisdom's Daughter jumped from the prayer warrior over to Grown Woman's Vibes, and then her and Wisdom's Daughter got into it. It's because she was copying her style. These content creators have a problem. If some uses their content, but they have no concern about using Phone Calls from Prison's complete content every time she drops a call. I'm not a content creator and don't have a dog in this fight, but bullshit is bullshit no matter how you throw it. In case I didn't mention, this comment is posted on the top. It's pinned at the top underneath the video I'm referring to. So Love and Devotion in 1993. Let me tell you a few things. First of all, why are you counting other people's money? Why are you pocket watching what these content creators who get 15,000 views on their videos, why are you counting what's going on in their and on their platform? Why are you getting involved in their members, their super chats, all of the things? Why are you doing that? If someone is enjoying the content and they want to leave a tip, if they want to support the platform by becoming a member, why is that your business? You love the prayer warrior so much. Why don't you stick to what's going on over there? I mean, I don't know if you watch how often you may watch Bougie or Grown Woman Vibes, but what I'm saying to you is, as a matter of fact, let me take that back. You must watch a lot because you seem to know what's going on in your chats. It is none of your business what goes on. It is none of your business how much content that they use. You don't know what kind of agreements or relationship any content creator has with phone calls from prison. You don't know what permissions or authorizations or anything she's given these content creators. And let me remind you, the prayer warrior, which by the way, everybody, those are my words, not hers, prayer warrior. She used the content creator's name, but I'm not going to. Let me remind you that when all of this started, she was reviewing the calls too, until she decided, or I guess until God spoke to her. Let me add allegedly, because we don't know who said what to her. But she says God has told her to, first she becomes Sonia's friend. Okay, and then we transition from that into starting to see Nesto and starting to post. Now let's talk about that for a minute. And people are not understanding the issue with the infamous prayer warrior is not any of those things. She first started losing subscribers when she decided to have Sonia on her platform to talk about, well, supposedly to do an interview, but it was more like Dumb and Dumber communicating with each other. There were no answers. And then this Christian lady, this woman of faith, this woman who says God spoke to her, sat there and told somebody's side piece that God put her in his life for a reason. First of all, God put another woman to be a helpmate to someone who already had a helpmate that he was married to. Really? God did that? Okay, let's talk about that. And then let's talk about the fact that when you were doing that interview, there were some very cringy moments in there. And some of that is from what I hear because I didn't watch it. I just don't have the patience. So this is when you started losing people because you made that statement. Then you started moving funny. You're all out there stalking Shirley Strawberry, and you can call it whatever you want. That is exactly what you were doing, allegedly, because you went to that shop and you were trying to interview Panay. So let's not even play coy when it comes to that situation. I don't believe that these were coincidence. And word on the street has it that, you track people with air tags, allegedly. So how do we know that that's not what happened in that situation? So see, I'm talking to you, Love Devotion 1993, and your friend, the prayer warrior over there, who had a board meeting and decided this wasn't personal, it was business. Let me also let you in on something. Here's what my problem is. When I had my house, I used to hate when people walked their dogs and their dogs would come and shit in my yard and they didn't clean it up. Let me tell you what's going on here. The infamous prayer warrior has shit in phone calls from prison's yard, and she's left a mess. And this is what the problem is. What people don't understand, as I said before, you don't know what type of deals, what type of rapport, what type of conversations, what type of relationships was going on between content creator and content creator. So before you start complaining about people complaining because she has literally taken a shit in Shay's yard and not cleaned it up, know the history and the facts of the situation. Because I do happen to know that that person's also known for lying. I know I'm going all over the place because I'm starting to get heated. Because I just want you and all the other looky-loos to know nobody, even though people felt it was stalkerish, nobody turned on that lady because she took a field trip. Nobody. That is not what has happened. She went over there. She's done shit in phone calls from prison's yard. She has also shit on her cohorts that were working together in this thing. But here again, another situation. If you don't know about it, don't talk about it. But that is what she did. She's going around and she's shitting everywhere and leaving it. That's what's going on here. And I will have you to know, a lot of people, me not being one of them, a lot of people, content creators, in fact, the few I mentioned in this video, they were the first people to want to offer up to help bail her out. Dennis, the one that she's always complaining about, I think he made a few calls and that's how she got out when she did. Now, I'm not going to swear to that. I don't know. But that's what I hear. So here again, this lady is going all over YouTube, shitting in people's yards and leaving a mess. And that is what you do not understand. So before you go counting up phone calls from prisons, coins, grown woman vibe coins, real talk bougie coins, know what you're talking about. And they heavily, for your information, in case you did not know this, they heavily support phone calls from prison. I have seen them gift memberships over there. I've seen them do things over there. Have you? Do you even know, or are you just listening to your prayer warrior friend? So while you are running around trying to play Captain Save a Saint, get it together first. And don't you ever come in my comment section with this bullshit. That's what you don't do. I just want to say that to her and the 4 people who agreed with her. I want to also read another comment that someone wrote. They said, and this was underneath your comment, Miss Love and Devotion. They said, wow, she will be more successful going to get a job. To the Love and Devotion person, it's mighty funny that you don't know how the collaboration pays for all the individuals in the collaboration. So keep hate alive, as scripture states. He will make a table in front of my enemies. Phone calls from prison will be my only source, and I will only follow the ones who collaborate with good intentions, period. Here is another one. I believe every content creator, first and foremost, give much respect to phone calls from prison. And everyone supports her either as a member of her YouTube channel, through Patreon, Cash Apps, Super Chats, etc. Phone calls from prison is getting support from everyone. Trust and believe, and more so now than ever, because no one likes what the prayer warrior is doing to backdoor her. So keep pocket watching and watch how she prospers. Now we have one more person who was windmilling for that warrior over there. And he wants to know, why is everybody windmilling for phone calls from prison? And I had to let him know that nobody's windmill. That's not the point. If you don't understand the point, and if you don't know what has gone on and what these collaborations are and were, don't speak on it. So it's not weird because, he thinks we're a bunch of weirdos for even being concerned about it. And everybody has a right to speak their opinion. And everybody has a right to request the calls. Yeah, that's true. But here again, you don't shit in people's yards and leave it there. And I, in a nice way, tried to explain that to him. So, he further goes on not understanding, how I would have any type of, relationship or collaboration with phone calls from prison, because Nesto is the only Black person on her channel and she prefers YouTube killers. I don't even know what a YouTube killer is. And everyone can request the calls, he says again, and y'all fighting for who's got the right to publish the information. That, again, we're back to not being the point. And I like true crime. I don't care if the person is Black or white. If it's a true crime story, I'm interested in it, especially the people that Phone Calls from Prison has on her channel. So these two disgruntled people, because these are the only people, those two, the Miss Love and Devotion and this other person who I won't name. And like I said, the other comments that I read that were positive, I got a lot of that. Got a lot of, we support Phone Calls from Prison over here, got a lot of it. Let us review what we've learned. We have Love and Devotion 1993, who is obviously a subscriber and supporter of the infamous prayer warrior. She seems to be concerned about how much money people are making off of phone calls from prison. That seems to be bothering her, that people get Cash Apps, Super Chats, memberships, Patreons, all of these things. Seems to be, it's got to be in her bonnet. So, nobody's being fair. I've explained that unless you know what the collaboration was, don't speak on it. I've also said that the person you support is not always very honest. So I don't know what you're being told, but you obviously don't know everything. So until you have conversations with the content creators, to Miss Phone Calls from Prison over there, you really shouldn't jump in people's comment sections making the comments that you've made in mine. And as a PS, one of the things that weighed in between, God speaking to her and her conscience, she wanted to take a different, what does she say? She wanted to take a different, I can't think of what I'm trying to say, but she wanted to go a different route. And she's going that different route. And I would just like to say, who is exploiting Ernesto Williams? Is it the people who create content based on phone calls that is available to the public? Or is it the person who goes to see him under the ruse of we're praying together and studying the Bible, and then after they're done, go and fill out their FOIA so that they can get their video and come back and show it? Where's the exploitation? Who's exploiting who? Furthermore, and another reason why people are disgruntled is because this lady sat and did a live to give the results of the investigation that she has done on a victim, the victim's family members, their criminal records, in which, by the way, that particular victim has none. She has taken that information and put it all out there on a live. She has, I don't know what the aunt and the mother, it was just ridiculous. Okay. Then she gives this information and pictures that she's gotten off the internet to Ernesto's side hen. That's just unethical. And this is another problem people have with her. The victims themselves. She victim shames and victim blames. She sits right there on her live and does it. So it's a combination of things as to why people have a problem with her. I am until you've been a victim of an essay, you don't know what it's like. So that's a very sensitive topic for me, and it is a very sensitive topic, period. The position that the prayer warrior is in is a position of her own doing. And my big thing, which here again comes ethics, not only is she praying with this man, going over the Bible with this man, having conversations with this man's side piece, she has the nerve to have a Rule 22. And I don't think that's right. She also talks about how buddy she is with Judge Manning. And I want to tell you something. I find it hard to believe that Judge Manning, with her background, is having ex parte conversations with the likes of her. Find it hard to believe. So, I'm done. I'm done with this rant. Don't you ever come in my comment section with this mess again. And before I go, I want to read something to you. I want to say I am Legacy Moon. And this is True Crime and Mysteries. And I'm going to get back into my true crime thing. If you are not subscribed to me, you're going to be missing out on some things. And I want to leave you with this. What I leave you with is something that is written in the description underneath the Nesto Williams videos over there at Phone Calls from Prison. These calls were acquired and paid for by this channel through the Freedom of Information Act. They have been redacted and edited by this channel to meet YouTube guidelines and for listening purposes only. Special thank you to our viewer and fellow YouTuber at Love, Lies, and Lace Fronts for this recommendation. And if you don't know, Love, Lies, and Lace Front and Real Talk Bougie are the same person. Shout out to her. Shout out to Grown Woman Vibes. And shout out to Phone Jones. If you are not subscribed to these ladies, you're missing out. And I'm sure I don't have to tell you. Make sure you're subscribed to Phone Calls from Prison.